It is 1 minute to 7 in the morning. I am about to do my first Bambino Fondo 50-kilometer ride on Zwift. I'm still asleep. I have not done a lot of cycling in a long time. I have not ridden more than 30 kilometers in years and years and years. And I've just signed up to start 2023 with a 50-kilometer ride on Zwift, and we're off. I do Zwift on my tiny little phone, so I've got this little tiny screen down here that I'm trying to read. 2022, how'd it go? I had 5 goals for 2022. Well, 6 really. First was have fun, and second was don't get hurt. I wanted to run a half marathon. I wanted to run an obstacle course, and I wanted to run a long race. 30K, marathon, ultra, who knows, just something impressive to me. And I wanted to run a total of 1,200 kilometers, and wow, that just got really steep. Oh my God, 10% grades suck. One moment while I breathe. My bike does not have hill climbing gears. I've got a sneaky suspicion this is a long climb. I didn't sign up for this. Yes, I did. This is exactly what I signed up for.
5 minutes later.
Okay, where was I? Goals for 2022. I wanted to make it sustainable and not get hurt. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to run a half marathon. I wanted to run an obstacle course race. I wanted to run something long. I wanted to run a total of 1,200 kilometers, or 100 kilometers each month. So, successes. Half marathon. I did my first half marathon distance on January 1st. I set out from my house to do a 5, maybe 10K run. When the 10K was done, I still had some in me, so I kept going. It was walking, but I did 21.95 kilometers in 2 hours and 51 minutes. And I kind of regret not just doing 50 more meters, because then I could have started 2022 with a 22-kilometer run. But I mean, that would have been a bad precedent to set. I signed up for the Winterman Half Marathon in February, and I trained for it. January, I ran 5 days a week without fail, but that sucked. That's why I'm on a bike right now, because it was cold. We had quite a few days below minus 30. I proved to myself that I could do it, but I didn't enjoy it. But when the race came around and the starting temperature was minus 25, I was prepared. I knew what I was getting into, sort of. I still came almost dead last in my race. 2 hours 46 minutes according to my notes. It was a strange mix of absolutely miserable and thoroughly enjoyable, but not so enjoyable that I'm doing it again this year. Success number 2, have fun. I did have a lot of fun running this year. I did a second race in September, but this time was a duathlon. So it was a 5K run, 20K bike ride, and then 2.5K run afterwards. Run in conjunction with a triathlon is basically for a triathlon for people who don't like to swim. Other fun things I did. In October, Cynthia and I went to Spain. 8% I climbed, 10% I climbed. I'm going down a 6% hill. Let's get some speed back. 70 kilometers going downhill. 71, 72, 73, 74. I would die doing this in real life. 75. Slowing down again. Hey, 75 kilometers. I can honestly say I've never done 75 kilometers an hour on a bicycle. I could still say that, really. So, Spain. We went to the south of Spain, a town called Malaga. It was a really good time. We did some hiking, and I had some amazing, memorable runs. I ran at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the sun doesn't rise there till 8:30. Their time zones are strange. So 7 o'clock in the morning, pitch black, and the city isn't woken up yet. And it was beautiful. Next morning, I set out a little later so I could catch the sunrise. I ran up into the hills and got this just wonderful moment of watching the sunrise come over the Mediterranean from the hills. That was special. That was mind-blowing. And then I had a real bucket list run where I ran along the beach at sunset. Gorgeous running. And then in Madrid, on our way home, I did a run through, forget the name of the park. It's kind of like their Central Park. It's this big closed off park, and again, amazing. By that time I was starting to feel pretty sick though. Turns out that we got COVID on the flight to Spain, and poor Cynthia had the worst of it while she was in Spain. So that put a damper on things. She did still go hiking. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Cynthia is badass. Getting COVID in October kind of sucked. Did not help my goals at all. So, if my half marathon and have fun were my successes, what were my failures? All of them. A lot of them. The first failure was the obstacle course race. I'd wanted to do the Spartan at the end of May, and my plan to train for that was to go climbing all winter long. But COVID really kept me out of the gym. In March, I tried doing a set of burpees, because if you fail a obstacle, that's what you gotta do. And I pulled a muscle in my chest. I knew there was no way that I could safely train to do the obstacles by May. So I pushed that back as, I'll run one in the fall. I did not run one in the fall. Long race. So I did not do a long race. The only race I participated in, other than my half marathon, was the duathlon I talked about. And that was not long. In fact, I never came close to the mileage that I did in January for the rest of the year. And that really comes down to overtraining. I cannot do a true easy run. I've learned that my easy runs are in fact tempo runs. And the problem with a tempo run is that it builds up stress over time. It fatigues you. So I can do it 5 days a week for a couple of weeks, but by the end of the month, I'm slowing down. And it gets really hard to keep doing it day in, day out. You just get more and more tired. And this was coupled with my need to reach a distance. I wasn't mentally able to not run. I mean, how weird is that, right? Turns out that the mental aspect of getting out for running is pretty easy for me. I know how to get myself addicted to exercise. What I don't know how to do is how to do a smaller, more sustainable rate. I can do 5 days a week. I can get into the habit, and 5 days a week is no problem. 2 days a week, 3 days a week, I can't do it. It's not frequent enough to be routine. Next failure, don't get hurt. I don't know if I would consider the breakdown that happened from all the tempo running as an injury, but it had the same effect. By April, I just basically stopped running. April, May, June, I barely ran. I didn't pick up my running again until July. At that point, I had 4 months of not coming close to my 100-kilometer goal. In July, I did the math and realized that if I ran 120 kilometers a month for the rest of the year, I could still make my goal. That was just close enough to attainable that I dug in and I got going. In August, I did it, 125 kilometers. September, I did it. October, I probably would have done it if I hadn't gotten COVID. November, I think I got 2, maybe 3 runs in November. 2 of them while dealing with COVID. By mid-November, I only had 30 kilometers left to hit 1,000 kilometers, which is still a really good sounding number, right? And then I injured myself, but I didn't do it running. I did it at a photo shoot, photographing dogs with Santa. 4 hours of sitting, squatting, standing, alternating in between, and I blew out my right knee. I couldn't put any weight on it for a couple of days. More than a month later, it's still causing me problems. I tried running a little bit in December, and I couldn't do it. It can't take the shock of the running right now. So I failed my don't get hurt, and I failed my 1,200 kilometers. And I came so close to my backup goal of 1,000 kilometers, but I didn't make that either. My stats for the year, though, were pretty good. I ran 156 times. Total time, 119 hours, 48 minutes, 969 kilometers. I'm really proud of that. Lessons learned. What are the things that I'm taking away from 2022? The first is to focus on time, not a specific distance for sport. Because I had that goal of 1,200 kilometers, I often chose running over other things, especially in the summer. I would choose to go for a run on a nice day instead of going mountain biking. It was just a shame. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I chose not to so that I could run, or because I was too tired from running. So in 2023, I'm changing that. I'm going to focus purely on time spent exercising, and it doesn't matter what exercise I do. And closely linked to that is I am going to really focus on sustainable level of effort. Something else I did not do that I need to do this year is strength training. I need to do proper full body strength training if I want to be able to keep doing what I like doing. Goals for 2023. Have fun. If I'm not having fun, why am I doing it? 2, keep it sustainable. 3, add strength training. 4, this is the real metric of it all. I want to do 208 hours of exercise in the year as a minimum. That's 4 hours per week, which doesn't sound like a lot to me, but it's enough that it takes genuine effort. This year I did 209, so it's doable. Next goal is to do more activities in different places. I loved my runs in Spain, and I don't have to say that I need to go off to Spain to enjoy my runs, but I want to go to Gatineau Park more. I only did a couple of hikes out there. I want to do mountain biking more. I want to stop running around the ponds. I want to expand where I do my exercises. I want to do some form of tentpole activities, whether they're races, planned big hikes, trips, something. There's something specific that I can train towards and that I get to do at the end as a celebration. It's nice to do these big things that require effort. So that's my goals. Have fun, keep it sustainable, add strength training, 208 hours of exercise, do a wider variety of activities in a wider variety of places, and do a couple of tentpole activities. No idea what they're going to be yet. So that's it. That's my 2022 in review. That only took me an hour and 3 minutes to record. I am 26.8 kilometers in, and I have 26.5 kilometers to go. No, I didn't realize there's a place counter on this. I am in 390th position out of 447 people doing this ride. I realize that Zwift is worldwide and there's all sorts of time zones, but 447 people at 7 a.m. Eastern seems like a lot. Everyone around me is from Germany, so well, I guess it's maybe not quite so early in the morning for them. Now, I find running on a treadmill to be absolute purgatory. It's boring. It's just pretty good. I mean, I'm staring at this tiny little screen, but it's pretty good. Beats the heck out of treadmill. Now, Zwift does actually have running for people with connected treadmills. Let me tell you, it really hurts the pride when you're going up a hill on a bike and you get passed by a runner. I'm not going to say that's happened to me, but it's happened to me a lot. So I have climbed 195 meters so far on today's ride, and I know that there's 300, give or take, on today's course. So I've still got 100 meters climbing to go, and I really hope that it's not all in one big burst, because that'll suck. Hey, I'm at 36.7 kilometers. This is the farthest I have ridden on Zwift yet. Probably the longest I've ridden on a bicycle in 5 years or more. Every minute I'm on here is 1 minute further than I've gone before. So I can see on the map, it looks like I'm about to climb up the mountain. But I'm kind of concerned about that, actually. 50 kilometers, 1 hour, 57 minutes. Still got 3.5 to go. And it looks like it's all uphill. This hill is a very sustained 5%. And I wish I had an easier gear. 1 mile to go. This hill just does not end. I know, surprise, surprise, I'm climbing up a virtual volcano and I expect it to be a short climb. 8%, Jesus, what a finish. 9, someone is a sadist. 10, yep, somebody's definitely sadistic. Done. 336th position. 132 minutes, 5 seconds. That climb apparently took me 14 minutes. I am totally going to ride down this mountain. There is no point in climbing up for 14 minutes if you don't get to enjoy the going down. 59.9. There we go. 60 kilometers, 2 hours, 25 minutes, and like 5 seconds. Welcome to 2023. I need a shower.